Now my idea of a rumble is something completely different, and there was certainly no rumbling going on, as far as I know. And I was like, okay, yes, I will have those for 50p.
Hello. And we thought we'd come and do this while we're here.
Yeah, it's quite nice actually. We did it 2 years ago, obviously before lockdown, and we just literally wandered around. Oh, it's a really good idea because it gets people.
Absolutely is. Recycling.
Exactly, and I'm for that.
There we go.
There you go, thank you.
We found the water.
You'd
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
we
wouldn't
used to have one of those. They're not really worth
Yeah,
much at all.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll get these on my jewellery.
Did you?
How much is your tea set?
Cat Kitson, £8 please.
£8.
What's that? Beaver?
Well, lovely looking beaver, look at that.
If it does bloody rain, I'll
Make sure it
Hello. Got a free hand. Thanks. What's your knives? What's your knives?
£5.
Okay.
Go there. Put that back.
Okay, I'll have a think.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a dash cam for your car. What Nan's got? Brilliant. £50p for the jug?
Yeah. I'll get that. Same for that one? Yeah. Okay, lovely.
What's that, sorry? As far as I'm aware, they've not been used. And all these as well, they've not been opened. Do you want that one?
How much was that?
Oh, sorry,
Sorry, she's got a speech
I'm
problem.
sorry. And I'm deaf.
Oh,
We're not a good match, are we?
She's partially deaf too, yeah. Hers is a head injury.
Oh, no, mine's from birth. I don't, £2, £3?
Yeah. That's too much, isn't it? Yeah. She just repurposes a recycled.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. hobby.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not ground. You've got no. If you look at your mobile, you've got no signal.
Oh.
Some more DVDs at the back here.
Is it the?
Oh, okay. I'll have a look. Thank you.
There's network branding a bit then. But then again, EE hasn't played.
Oh, we've got it. Is there anything in these two bowls that are 50p?
Okay.
Have you got his? Do you want me to move that over?
No. No, sorry.
You take it.
I was trying to look up. There was a special edition Monopoly on that last store, but
Hello, how are you? Well, it's good to hear early before it even started. And then it started raining, so we stopped putting other things out.
how much are these?
They are £3 for the set.
Okay. And then there's a little egg cup there as well.
Yeah, 50p for the egg cup. It's very
Okay.
cute actually. It's a proper pottery one.
Yeah, it's really
But
cute.
I actually bought the other thing. I'll do it for 50p.
Okay, yeah, we'll take those then.
Yeah.
This is all Mason's Christmas Village.
Right, there's glasses as well. There's glasses.
There's a whole, well, 2, 4, 6 of them.
Yeah, are they mugs as well? Around. Yes, that. Right, let's find out how much these are then.
Santa's Workshop, Dunedin. Dunedin.
Yeah.
There's that one's something else. Brown.
We'll pick out the Christmas stuff then.
Not all of it. All of this. Four nights. And decorated.
It's Mexican pottery. It's really heavy. Yeah, probably a bit too wet.
Shame it's raining.
I know. This stuff is okay. I could go get some plastic.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you're doing all right. I've got a small haul here to show you from 2 different jumble trails. So we went to a regular, what they would call a jumble trail, and then we went to something that they called a rumble. Now my idea of a rumble is something completely different. I've heard people call these trails safaris before, and of course they're called garage trails, yard sale trails, jumble trails, so many different names for them, but this was a new one on me. I've never heard of it being called a rumble before. But all the same, we went along to it, and it wasn't much different really. It was very much exactly the same as a jumble trail, a yard sale trail, etc. And there was certainly no rumbling going on, as far as I know. So the reason that I put both these trails together is because they were quite small and we didn't really find an awful lot. So you will have seen the footage before of us walking around both of those trails, and I've got the haul here to show you now. So we might as well get straight into it. I found quite a lot of Christmas ceramics over both trails. So I'm just going to start with that. At the first trail I found some Dunoon Christmas themed mugs, and then at the second trail I found some Dunoon Christmas mugs as well. So I was quite pleased with that because they generally sell for about £10 to £12 each. I'll show you what I've got. So there's this one which is designed by Sue Scullard, and it's a very classic fireside Christmas tree theme. And then the next one is designed by Richard, now I haven't got my glasses on so it's very difficult to read, Richard Partis, I think. That's the bottom. And it's called A Winter's Tale. So, lovely little snow scene. Very traditional. And then this is a Sue Scullard one as well. Doesn't have a particular name, but it has a very lovely Christmas shop front. That's really nice, I love that one. And then there is this one which is designed by Jane Chapman, and it's Santa's Workshop. So that one looks like that. This one is slightly heavier, and I think it's slightly taller as well. Yeah, this one's porcelain, whereas the others are bone china. So that'll be why. And there was a couple of other Christmas mugs which weren't Dunoon, but very much in the same sort of style. This is Roy Kirkham, and should also sell for about 10 to 12. And this is the design on it. Very much more a sort of cartoon Santa. Less traditional than the Dunoon mugs. And then there's this one which is Royal Burlington. It's a Staffordshire bone china mug. And again, very traditional sort of Santa and his elves. And that should fetch about £10 as well. So, got 6 mugs there. Hopefully, should get about £60 back. I can't remember what I paid on the 2 from the first trail. There would have been no more than £1, so 50p to £1, something like that. But the 4 that I bought from the second trail, they were 75p each. So from the same stall that I bought the Dunoon mugs on the second trail, she was also selling some vintage Christmas ceramics. I knew nothing about them, but she wanted 75p each, so I decided to go with it. She had originally said £2 each on everything, so we were kind of totting up in our head whether it was worth making an offer if we took the lot. And then she suddenly said, oh, 75p each. So we were like, okay, we'll just pay 75p each. So I will show you what they are. I've got 2 of these really cute small mugs. I suppose they could be used for children, or they'd make a nice small coffee cup. And the make on them is Masons. They are ironstone made in England, and the design is Christmas Village. So I didn't know anything about Mason's Christmas Village before, but I'm certainly looking out for it now, because these 2 small mugs should fetch £20 to £25 each. We also picked up this candlestick, which both Nick and I really liked. It wasn't until I got it home that I realised it's got a repair on it, which is very frustrating. Especially frustrating because there is a pair of these currently for sale for £69. So probably could have got £30 to £35 just for one. But with the damage, I doubt I'll get any more than about 20. So I'm going to try 20 with best offer and see whether it will sell with the damage. I mean, I wouldn't be overly upset if it didn't sell. Let's put it that way, because I love Christmas and it will always be used. But I am going to list it because somebody might be looking for one of these for their collection. And they might not mind spending just a bit less on it with a bit of damage, because it doesn't show. If you display it from this side, you can't see it. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to list it for 20 and see what happens. I am starting to get a bit more confident about listing things with damage and realising that people do buy things with damage. I think I've always just seen it in the way I shop, because I don't think I would buy anything with damage. So I've always dismissed things with damage, and I've put them in the charity pile or sent them to the crockery smash for the village fete. But I recently sold a stoneware goblet, which was a one of a kind, and it had a crack in it. And I thought, because it was one of a kind, somebody might want it for their collection. So I gave it a go, and it did sell. It sold on Etsy. And the person's left a really nice review saying that he's actually going to use it. He said there is a small crack in it, but that was described, and he's not worried about it. He'll just make sure that he's very careful when he drinks out of it. It amazes me, because if I saw something that said it had a crack in it or a chip in it or a repair, I probably wouldn't buy it. I would keep looking for the one that was in good condition. But there you are. Damaged things do sell. So the last thing that I bought in the Christmas Village design are these ramekins. I've got 4 of these, and I couldn't find any that had been listed or sold across eBay, Etsy. I searched on Google, and even replacements.com were out of stock of these. So they seem to be quite rare. So I'm going to try about £50 for the 4. So I highly recommend looking out for Christmas Village ceramics, because they do seem to have a good second-hand price, especially plates. I was just saying to Nick that I was a bit annoyed with myself, to be honest, because we'd done the whole deal with this lady, and it had been a bit awkward anyway, because, you know, she'd started up with the £2 and then come down to 75p, and then we decided what we were going to buy, so we'd already paid her, and I looked over on another table and saw a Christmas plate, and I thought, oh, shall I have a look at it? And I decided to just walk away. It was a bit drizzly, and I felt like we were done. I don't know if you can relate to that, but I just felt like we've done it, we've bought the stuff, and she was already helping us get it in the car, and I felt like we were done, so I didn't look at it. I don't know if it was Christmas Village, but when I was searching and researching Christmas Village, there were plates that were going for £100, £200, so I'm really, really regretting not just having a look at that plate or not picking it up, because I might have missed out on something really, really special. But I've learned now. I've learned that if I see any Christmas village ceramics out and about, pick it up. It's worth money, especially the plates. We did, however, pick up a set of these glasses. Got 6 of these, all identical. No markings on them, so I had no idea what the brand was. She had suggested she'd bought them in Europe years ago, so I figured they were probably vintage and they were worth going for. Again, they're all 75p each. So I bought the 6, and it turns out that they're Feldsgraf. They're vintage German Christmas glasses. The design is Christmas heritage, and I've decided that I'm going to sell them in sets of 2, and I'm going to pitch them at £15 for the pair with offers. So, did quite well on the glasses as well. So you may have guessed already that I've mixed all of this up. This haul is not in any particular order. So I may as well show you the only other thing really that I bought from the second trail. And it's a set of these Denby blue colonial cups. I got 7 of these. Unfortunately, they didn't have the saucers with them. So I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to sell them individually as replacements, or whether I'm going to split them into 4 and 3 and sell them as a lot. 4 of these without the saucers have sold for £25 on eBay. So I'm thinking, at the moment, I'm leaning more towards selling a 4 and a 3. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the 4 for 20 to 25, and then a set of 3 for 15 to 20. If I was to sell them individually, there's one listed at £6 just on its own as a replacement. So I would pitch it around there, maybe £5 or £6 for just one of them. But I think it's probably more worth my time to split it into 2 lots. So I'm thinking that might be the better way to go. And on the same table as the Denby mugs was this really cute little egg cup. And it's studio pottery. It's hard to make out, but it is Boscastle pottery. She sold it to me for 50p, and I'm going to list it for 10. So on to what I found from the first sale. I didn't actually film this, but I picked up 2 of these storage jars, which are Bloomingville. This is a really nice brand actually. They do some lovely designs and lovely homeware, and it's not cheap stuff either. So I've got one orange one, and one green. The only thing that annoys me is that the lid is so loose. I'm not a fan of the design of the jar itself, but I do love the geometric pattern on it. The pattern is called Bruni, and these are discontinued now, so they do hold their value because they're very retro. You can get mugs and all kinds of homeware in the same sort of design. So I'm thinking of listing for £30 for the pair with best offer on. I'm not sure how much they would have been brand new. I saw a website that had them reduced, but they were out of stock for £20 each. Yeah, I'm thinking they were probably about £25, £30 each. So I'm thinking that £30 a pair is probably quite fair on those, especially as they're quite collectible and they're discontinued. One of the first things that I found were these gorgeous hand-carved mushrooms. This small one is carved out of yew. Not sure on this one, but it's beautiful, isn't it? The work that's gone into that. It's made by a local wood turner called P.E. Jeeves. I won't show you the sticker because it has his address on it and he might still live there. I'm not sure on this one at all, but I love them. And the funny thing is, I kind of wanted some wooden mushrooms. It was something that I was on the lookout for. I've seen a few recently in different vintage hauls, and the first house that we went to view, which we almost bought but then didn't, she had some on her shelf and I thought, oh, I love those. So I've got a bit of a thing for mushrooms. I love glass mushrooms, stone mushrooms, wooden mushrooms. And as I say, I decided that I was going to be on the lookout for them. And then the universe delivered. And I found these, which I absolutely love. So they won't be for sale. They're going to be for our new house. So there's something wrong if I don't find a jug when I go out thrifting. I do love to pick up a jug. And I found a couple of these and I couldn't believe the price. They were 50p each. I was like, okay, yes, I will have those for 50p. This is the first one. It's Woodsware Iris. And the resale value on that is about £20. So that was a nice little find. And from the same stall, also for 50p, was this one. It's a vintage jug made by Churn. Not sure if you're going to be able to see the base there, if I can catch that in the light. This one isn't worth as much, unfortunately, but it is a really lovely classic design, isn't it? This one I'm probably looking more at like £10 to £12. So I'm thinking I'll start at 12 and put offers on it and see where we go. But at 50p each, I can't lose, and I'm definitely going to make my money back on the Woodsware one. So one of the last stalls that we came to, it looked like this lady had been a dealer. She may still be a dealer and just clearing out some of her stock. That's what it felt like to me. But her prices were reasonable and she had some really nice things. So I picked up a selection of things from her stall. And although reasonable, they weren't really cheap, but there was still a good profit margin in it for me, so I decided to go for it. One of the things from her stall was this. It's Pearson's of Chesterfield. The number on it is 1810. So this particular product line would have been issued in the 70s. So there's not a great amount of age to it. But this particular brown and beige design is very on trend at the moment. People are loving these for their country kitchens, cottage kitchens. I honestly thought that the bottle design would have had less value because it's more difficult to use it practically. But I guess there are less of these around because these are actually selling for about £20. So I'm quite happy with that. I was pleased when I picked it up. Even happier now that I've seen what the value is. I picked up this really pretty little crown fine bone china duck. I've had one of these in a different design in the past. It was still a floral design, it was still a duck, but in a different pose. And that sold for about £12.99, so that's what I'm going to list this one for. And then she had these two West German coffee mugs. They're Seltman Wieden Bavaria. And I honestly thought, being that they were West German, they would have more value than they actually do. But I should be able to get about 12 to 15 on the pair. So not too bad, but not as good as I had originally hoped when I found them. Nick saw this on the table. It's a little Coleman's mustard pot. It doesn't have its spoon, unfortunately, but it should fetch about £10. I'm trying to remember how much we paid for all of it. I'm thinking it was around 15, something like that. She wanted like £2–3 for each item, but I think once we got a bundle together, I think it was about 15 that we paid her. But that was absolutely fine, because looking what I can get back on it, should be able to get at least 15 to 20 back on the bottle, and that's covered everything else, so it was worth doing. So that's everything. Thank you very much for watching again. Hope that you've enjoyed it. If there's anything you see in any of my videos that you really like, there is a link below to my shop. There's also a link to my Instagram, so you can always message me if I haven't listed it. I do tend to do a bit of discount if you arrange a private sale with me on Instagram, just simply because there aren't as many fees. So yeah, take a look, have a browse around, see if there's anything that you fancy. I'd also love to know what you think about the Christmas ceramics. Have you had any experience yourself with selling vintage Christmas ceramics, etc.? I think that was definitely my best pickup of the weekend. Anyway, I shall love you and leave you, and see you again in another video very soon. Take care for now. Bye.